So today's reading is from the Sutta 193, Saṅgārava. This is from the Book of Five, Anguttara Nikaya, the numerical discourses. Then the Brahmin Saṅgārava approached the Blessed One and exchanged greetings with him. When they had concluded their greetings and cordial talk, he sat down to one side and said to the Blessed One, Master Gotama, why is it that sometimes even those hymns that have been recited over a long period do not recur to the mind, let alone those that have not been so recited? Why is it that sometimes even those hymns that have not been recited over a long period recur to the mind, let alone those that have been so recited? So this is the opening. So I mentioned to you before, oftentimes when people meet, as they noted in the sutta, they will have their greetings and then cordial talk. So when they had concluded their greetings and cordial talk, so this is where they meet, and then they will say like, how are you? Everything okay? That kind of thing. Then you notice it says, he sat down to one side and said to the Blessed One. So he didn't prostrate to the Buddha, he didn't do anything else, he just greeted and said hello, and then he sat down to one side. So then he asked the Buddha, why is it that certain hymns would recur, certain hymns wouldn't recur, even though some have been recited for a long time and some have not. So the Buddha replied, Brahmin, when one dwells with a mind obsessed and oppressed by sensual lust, and one does not understand as it really is the escape from arising sensual lust, on that occasion, one does not know and see as it really is one's own good, the good of others, and the good of both. Even those hymns that have been recited over a long period do not recur to the mind, let alone those that have been so recited. Suppose there were a bowl of water mixed with lac, turmeric, blue dye, or crimson dye. If a man with good sight were to examine his own facial reflection in it, he would not know and see it as it really is. So too, when one dwells with a mind obsessed and oppressed by sensual lust, on that occasion, one does not know and see as it really is one's own good, the good of others, and the good of both. Then even those hymns that have been recited over a long period do not recur to the mind, let alone those that have not been so recited. So this is the first part of the reply. There's a few sections. The second is on ill will. First one is on sensual lust. Second is on ill will. Third is dullness and drowsiness. Fourth is restlessness and remorse. And of course, the fifth would be doubt. In other words, the five hindrances. Five hindrances. Are you all familiar with the five hindrances? Yeah. You guide. In Chinese, it's translated as the five covers. So it's like a metaphor, where there are five mental qualities that can obstruct the development and growth of wholesome qualities. So the description is that, like, let's say in this case, you try to recite, you try to recite certain teachings, hymns in this case, then even though you do it regularly, but If you have sensual lust, you have ill will, you have dullness, and cloudiness, and then you have restlessness and worry, and remorse. You have doubt. These 5 factors. Then, when you do the recitation, it's like planting the seeds. Although the seeds are there, but then you put a stone over it, and the stone refers to these 5 qualities. It covers the seed. So the seed is there, but it cannot sprout. It cannot sprout. So similarly, if you were to try to practice other forms of development, you try to meditate, you try to learn Dharma, you try to grow, but cannot. It's obstructed. The next few days I will recite the rest. I will not recite. I will read to you the rest. Okay, but this is the overview. Any questions? Marcel, anything from the Slido? I think there's a lot. Because recently we recite from the Anguttara Nikaya. Okay, let's see. Liz asked, Shifu, how does one deal with doubts arising about one's ability to put practice in lay life with challenges of daily life, roles, and responsibility? Just nice doubts. One of them. How does one deal with doubts arising about one's ability? So there are 3 kinds of faith, 3 kinds of doubts. 信实有，信有德，信有能. So to have faith in the teachings or the practices given by the Buddha, that they truly exist. That's the first faith. That means they are valid. The second one is 信有德, to believe that, to have faith that these teachings, these practices have results that is of value, that there is merits in them. And the third is 信有能, 信有能. So to have faith that we have the ability to practice those practices, and as a result have the merits. So here is the third type of non-faith. So just now I mentioned 3 types. That is faith. The absence of these 3 is the 3 kinds of doubts. So in this case, it's doubt in yourself. Liz is not here today. Actually, I don't know which Liz. Yeah. How many of you have doubts in yourself? A lot of people have doubts in yourself. Yeah. There are studies done by scientists. They find that women have more doubts in themselves than men. Yeah, generally speaking, not everyone, but generally speaking. Yeah. Then the funny thing is, a student shared this with me. They say, more than 50% of men believe that they are above average. How can there be more than 50% that's above average? Yeah. So sometimes it's quite interesting. So then the question is, how do you deal with such a doubt? Yeah. You can have doubts about different things. So it can be doubts about whether you do something right or wrong. It can be doubt about whether you are a good person. It can be doubt about your ability to accomplish certain tasks. Yeah. And then in terms of doubt in your own ability, it can be worldly, it can be spiritual. Yeah, but they are similar. Do you all have doubts in raising your hand? Please nod your head. Raising your hand. You have doubt that you can raise your hand? Have you have doubts in doing that? Do you have doubts in opening your eyes? Anybody have faith that you can open your eyes? Who has faith that you can raise your left hand? Raise your hand. Okay. Actually, that is a kind of like a trick question. No? When I ask you whether you have faith in raising your hand, and then you raise your hand, did you actually have any doubt that you might not be able to raise your hand at the first place? Perhaps the question should be, do you know that you can raise your hand? Right? Because raising your hand is something so straightforward that it shouldn't be a matter of faith. Yeah? Because you should know that you can raise a hand or not. If now I ask you, how many of you can have faith that you can raise 100 kg? Then you may have some question marks. Yeah. Then it's a matter of maybe you can, maybe you cannot. If it's something that maybe you can, maybe you cannot, then you may need to have faith because it's a doubtful thing, right? Uncertain. Yeah. So then, in terms of our ability, it can also be split up in this way. There are certain things that should be definite. Yeah, there are certain things that is a question of the extent. Yeah, certain things maybe you haven't tried before, so you're not sure. Certain things you have tried before, but maybe circumstances are different. Yeah, certain things you have tried before, but the extent is different, so now you are unsure. So there are different circumstances. But in those, if you find that, yeah, having said all this, right, if you find that you have doubts in yourself, even in things that you shouldn't have doubts in, like raising your hand, then we have a bigger problem. Yeah. We have a bigger problem. Because there should be certain things that you are sure you can do, like going to the toilet. You should know that you can walk to the toilet and pee. Of course, if you have, let's say, urinary tract infection or something, then maybe there's a problem. Other than that, we should have the knowledge that there are certain things we can do. There are certain things that we are not so sure. Are we good? Clear so far? No? So then how about the things that you are not sure whether you can do or not do? Yeah. Is it normal? Is it okay to have doubt in that case? So the fact that if it's something that you have not tried before, something that is not exactly within what you are sure of, and you have doubt, actually that's very normal. That's understandable, and that's actually a good thing, because otherwise you may be overstretching. Yeah, you may be biting off more than you can chew. Yeah. While doubt can impede us from doing things, doubt is not, in my opinion, doubt is not necessarily a bad thing, especially if you haven't done it before, right? If you don't have doubt even for things that you don't know how to do, that you have faith you can do it even though you have never done it before, that is baseless faith. Yeah, that can be dangerous. Imagine imagine your friend asks you, hey, I borrowed a car. I remember you have a driver, you know how to drive, right? Can you drive me to that place? I actually don't know how to drive. Then you say, can, no problem, I can try. What do you think will happen? I think in this case better to have doubt, right? Yeah. Or let's say you have driving license, but since getting your driving license, you have not driven, and it's been a few years, yeah. And your friends say, I need to go somewhere tomorrow, and I managed to get a car, but do you think you can drive me? So there are times where having doubt is useful, yeah. Yeah, there are times where having faith is useful. So while you have doubt, then does it mean that you cannot do it? Having doubt whether you can do it is one thing. Having faith to try is another thing. Do you see the distinction? If you haven't done it before, you should have doubt in whether you can do it. But you should have the faith to try. So let's say now again, I say, do you think you can raise 100 kg? Yeah, you can. You should rightly say, I don't know whether I can do it. That's doubt, right? Yeah, if you have not raised it before. But if you have raised 99 kg before, then your doubt should be lesser. If the heaviest you have raised is 5 kg, then now someone asks you to raise 100 kg, then your doubt should be, I mean, proportionately higher. Yeah, but should you also have faith to try? The faith to try is not about how, it's not necessarily about how much different from what you have done. It should perhaps be based on how dangerous it is. Yeah, like what is the gravity of failing? If let's say failing would cause a drastic outcome, then having doubt to try is also reasonable. Right? It's also reasonable. Like let's say someone asks you to boil the kettle. How many of you have not boil the kettle, boil water? Boil kettle. Sometimes we say boil kettle, Yeah, boil water, boil water. How many of you have boiled water before? Okay, boil water too simple. How about cooked rice? How many of you have cooked rice before? How many of you have not cooked rice before? How many of you have not cooked rice before? Have not? Oh, everybody cooked before. Okay, let me find something else. Okay, for example, how many of you have taken a screenshot with your phone before? How many of you have not taken a screenshot before? Also all taken. I must find something that at least some of you have not done before. How many of you have not created a website before? Have not created a website before? Okay, so some have, some don't have. Very good. So now the question is, those who have created a website before, you should have absolute faith in doing it. If you have not done it for a long time, maybe you may have some doubts, but your doubts shouldn't be as much as those who have never done it before. Agree? If you have done it before, but now Shifu wants you to do it in a different way. Like maybe the way you did it last time is using WordPress, yeah, or what is that? I can't remember the name. Yeah, using some website. Yeah, so it's very simple. Now Shifu asks you, okay, are you able to create a website from scratch? Yeah, I give you a VPS or I give you a shared hosting, and then you go to cPanel and then install WordPress yourself and then set it up and so on and so forth. And by the way, I need HTTPS. Yeah, so you need to go and register SSL and so on and so forth. Oh, and the domain name is this. You need to go and register the domain name also. And you're like, that's a bit different, huh? That's also set up website, but then you may say, okay, my doubts start to increase. Okay. Now then we look at those who have never tried before. Okay, those who have never tried before, whether it's to just do this easy way or hard way, both are relatively hard to you, right? So then you will have doubt in doing it. But how about the trying part? How about the faith or doubt in trying? If now it's just setting up a website, okay? And Shifu say, can you help me set up a website? You may have doubt in trying whether you know, like whether you should even try or not, right? But let me ask you, if you try and you fail, what's the outcome? Fail law, right? I mean, what will happen, right? Nothing else will happen, right? Then you just have a failed attempt, correct or not? No, Shifu asked me to do. If I fail, bad karma. No bad karma in trying, okay? Yeah. Please, I mean, I'm saying this as a joke, but some people really feel that way, like if Shifu asks them to do something, number one, they cannot say no. Number two, they cannot fail. Then what happened? They just don't reply. Don't reply, I never say yes, I never say no, ma. And because I never say no, then I don't try, I don't fail, ma. So, well, but this is just a funny example, not that it happened recently, okay? So don't start to think, hey, is Shifu talking about me? No. This is just a funny example. But still, even if you try, right, nothing much else will happen. Agree? At most, you have you create an account and that is like mess up, right? Or maybe you spend $50, $100, yeah, one-time pin, yeah, you spend $200. You shouldn't spend so much money to just create a website, by the way, just so you know. But at most, how much can you lose? A few $100s, maybe you stupid. You click on some links and then the person say, the website say, oh, you must pay $200 here, $300, and you really click, pay. Shifu say he need a website, pay, and then you pay $3,000. Shouldn't be, okay? Remember, you shouldn't have to pay $3,000 just for a website. This is 2021, not 1995. 1995, yeah, maybe, okay? So, if the impact of failing is not so great, then your faith in trying should be higher. Yeah. You shouldn't worry about trying. You shouldn't have doubt in trying if the outcome doesn't have such a grave impact. Yeah. Especially if the chance is high, so to speak. Now, conversely, if now Shifu asks you to go and set up a website for a nuclear power plant. Don't ask me why Shifu would need you to set up a website for a nuclear power, not nuclear bomb, okay? Nuclear power plant. Then you should say, Shifu, I don't know anything about website, number one. I don't know anything about nuclear power plant. What if I set up wrongly? Yeah, then the nuclear power plant, before they start, already melt down. Where's the nuclear power plant going to be? Oh, it's going to be in Sonoko. You will be replacing that. Then, of course, you should say, Shifu, I have no doubt, sorry, I have no faith at all in doing it. Please don't ask me. Ask Sean. Sean may be able to do it. Then Sean said, no, I only manage the team. I cannot do it. Sean also said, you see. Yeah. So, again, so this is just the preamble. Okay, this is just about assessing your doubts. Yeah, because many times people have doubts without knowing why they have doubts. They don't realize that their doubts don't need to be there. But this exercise should be done in a way regular basis. Don't wait until you have really something that requires you to do, then you try to use this. A bit difficult. So how can you do it? How can you do this exercise even before a task come along? even a situation come along, think about your past decision. Think about past scenarios where you have doubts in yourself. Ask yourself, which one does it fall into? Is it doubt in your ability to do it, or doubt in your in trying? Yeah. So I want to highlight these two parts: doubts in doing it, doubt in trying it. These are two different things. Okay. So then the next final step, if you know that you have doubt in doing it because of your ability, good news. This is the easy part to solve. Tell the person your ability is limited, yeah, but you're willing to try. So this is if you have no problem trying, but you have doubt in your ability. Yeah, just highlight to the person you don't really know how to do it, but you're willing to try. So far, so good. If the person feel that that's too much of a risk and say, oh, you don't know how, okay, then never mind. Then never mind. Yeah. So even if the person let you try, how can you mitigate the risk of something bad happening? So really try. Try as in not try on the actual day. Don't try on the actual thing. If possible, create what we call a sandbox. You know what is a sandbox? A sandbox in the what you call it in the tech world, it is an environment where it's not the real thing and you can try things out. It's basically like, you know, when you go to the playground and then you have a place where there are a lot of sand there, then you can create things. Yeah. What is it about this playground? You can create whatever you want to create, but after that you can just wipe it out. There's no impact on anybody. So that's called sandboxing. So if let's say someone asks you, can you cook lunch next week? Then you haven't really cooked for a long time. Then you start cooking now. Start trying on yourself. Don't try on others. Don't let other people be a guinea pig. Try. Then you will start to have faith in your ability. But sometimes the more you try, the more you have doubts in your ability, because then you really realize you cannot do it. Yeah. In that case, then how? Liz asked me, how does one deal with doubts arising about one's ability? Yeah, I haven't talked about the second part because her question is practice in daily life with challenges of daily life, roles and responsibilities. Yeah, because there may be a case where you really find that you are not suitable. Okay, my approach doesn't guarantee that you will always have faith, because sometimes you are really not cut out for it. Then you should really realize that at this point in time, not suitable. Yeah, either because you just don't have the flair, yeah, or maybe you are not suitable for this approach. You need to try a different approach, or maybe you don't have the right instructor, the right person to guide you. There are many reasons why you are not able to do it. Realizing the gap is important. So then one's ability to put practice in daily life. Okay, so this part is where it's interesting. It's the spiritual. I presume this practice should be the spiritual practice. So as far as the lay person's practice is concerned, first thing we can consider is 信戒文舍会, right? 信戒文舍会. So faith, then the precepts, 信戒文舍会, yeah, the precepts, then the hearing, then giving, and then wisdom. So you can follow this sequence, or you can also follow the 6 paramita. Yeah, 布施、持戒、忍辱、清净、禅定、般若. Yeah, in a way easier because it starts with giving. Giving is easy, right? At home you can start giving, right? You can pour a cup of water, give your parents, pour a cup of water for anybody in your house. Yeah. then then every 5 minutes you pour a cup of water, then your mother's like, this is 笑了 Anybody have question whether you are able to pour a cup of water? No doubt, right? So Liz, likewise, you should at least say that you have faith in practicing generosity. Pour a cup of water, no problem, right? How about other practices? Then we look at 戒定慧. Yeah, we look at the precepts, we look at concentration, we look at wisdom. Yeah. So how about precepts? The 5 precepts: killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, and avoiding alcohol and intoxicants. Maybe we have difficulty in some of them. Then at least you should have faith in the rest that you can do, right? Then after that, the ones that you have challenges, you have difficulties in upholding, then you ask yourself, what is stopping you? Yeah? You got to do examination on it and find out what is the thing that is preventing you from fulfilling it. I suspect when we feel that we have doubts in the ability to put practice in lay life, it's not really this 戒定慧, Yeah. It's not doubt in the practice, it's doubt in the result. It's doubt whether you are able to produce the good results. For example, some students tell me, I have difficulty having patience with my family, right? Yeah. Practicing patience is not difficult. Having patience is difficult. Yeah. Practicing loving kindness is not difficult. Having loving kindness is difficult. Observing the precepts is not difficult. Actually doing it is difficult. That means taking up the precepts not difficult. This morning, every morning, panati pata veramani. Everybody can do that, but actually observing it to really abstain from it, that's not so easy. Yeah. Not to be angry. Yeah. Practicing non-anger, that's not difficult. Practice only, but actually not being angry, not being frustrated, that's not easy. So I suspect Lee's question about the ability to put practice in lay life pertains more with having the results. And if my assumption is correct, then I want to highlight, just do the practice. Simply put, just do the practice. Because if you do the practice and you fail, at least you still do the practice, meaning that you plant the seeds to move in that direction. You fail, but you plant the seeds. But if you, as a result, don't even do it, then you are not moving in that direction. It's just like your children. Some of you have children who go to learn piano. Oh no, right? Yeah. And what do we tell them? Do they on the first day immediately dun 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 dun? Do they play like that in the first day? Is dun 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 dun, right? So the result is not good. But you still say, then maybe your kid will start to have frustration. It's like, "Aya, mommy, I really cannot do this. I don't know how to play." Then you what do we tell them? We say, never mind, just practice. Practice make perfect. Just keep on trying. But mommy, I really do my hand like leg like that. Then you say, never mind, just practice. What did your piano teacher tell you? Practice with one hand first lah. You cannot do both hands. Do with one hand first. Do left hand first, then do right hand. Then after that, do both hands. Then rest. Then do left hand, right hand, both hands. Then same thing. Just do the practice. The results will eventually come. If you keep on looking at the result and then say, how come like that? Then you will have a lot of doubts. You'll be disheartened. Yeah. Who will not be disheartened if you keep on looking at results? Correct or not? Yeah. Imagine if you look at the primary school kids, and every day you ask the kid, do you know algebra? Do you know algebra? Do you know algebra? I tell you, all the kids will go crazy. Correct or not? That's why exam only come once or twice a year. Yeah, but nowadays, actually, come to think about it, nowadays, here test, there test, pop quiz, test, 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 test so much for what? The kid go crazy. But having said that, regular testing is also not a bad thing because it helps the teacher know where the students are. Once a year test is kind of a big bang thing. Either you make it or you don't make it. End of the year, then you discover too late, too late. That's why there's a mid-year test. But then they find that mid-year test also too long. So they have a bit of small tests. Yeah, small tests. Yeah, so similarly, when we do our practices, you cannot expect yourself to have results the day you do your practice. Yeah, but over time. But it cannot be like 30 years later, then you check yourself lah. uh, I, I shall practice patience. And then 30 years later, it doesn't work. Huh? What happened? Did I do something wrong? uh, so I feel that this would generally address her question with challenges of daily life, roles, and responsibilities. The details as to how to do it depends on what practice Liz is asking. But because she asked in a very general way, how to put practice in daily life, I will address it in this way. Yeah, and in particular, the concerns, which I feel that most people's concern is they are not getting the results. Yeah, uh, practice itself, no problem. So this is about our mindset. Okay. 愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿得智慧真明了，
愿得智慧真明了，
普愿罪障悉消除，
我愿罪障悉消除，
世世常行菩萨道。
世世常行菩萨道。
阿弥陀佛。
阿弥陀佛。
Till we meet again, may be guided and protected by the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And as always,
乖乖
have a quite confident day ahead. Take care, stay safe.
Thank you, Shifu.
Thank you, Shifu.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Shifu.
Shifu. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, by the way, there's another somebody else sent something. So if you all like, you all can. Oh wait, the person has left. So then let me see. I have doubts in committing to a faith as I don't know for sure if it is the truth, and I don't want to end up wasting my life believing in a lie, restricting my life and making myself miserable for nothing. Anyway, my observations from my personal experiences seem to run contrary to what the Bible or other authoritative literatures of various religions. I won't say any further. Yeah, so, well, too bad the person has left. Yeah, and that's why I personally find that Buddhism is very interesting. It does require to have some nominal faith to begin with, but it doesn't require you to commit your arm and leg into it, you know. Like, believe, don't believe. No, not in that way. Even more importantly, there's the element of test. Yeah, that you're allowed to put the teachings to test. Not testing your faith, but testing the teachings. Yeah, that you can actually try it out, you can verify it, you can critique it and examine it. Yeah, so to me this is something that is very valuable about the Dharma, about Buddhism. I don't know enough about other religion to see whether they have this element or not. But so far, from what I've heard from interfaith dialogues, there seem to be mixed opinion. Nowadays, it's more politically correct. It's more popular to say that your faith allows questioning. Yeah, but traditionally, most religion don't allow you to question anything. Yeah, in fact, you go back a few hundred years ago, to even raise a question, you'll be considered a heretic. You'll be considered an outcast. You can be arrested in that sense. Yeah, but fortunately, times have changed. Yeah, fortunately, time has changed for the better in a way. Yeah, I don't know, but it's not certain. Yeah, it's not certain. There may come a time where religions have enough power, then they may assert that kind of dogmatic absoluteness where you cannot question. Yeah. In Buddhism, we have a different problem. We have the Dharma teachers, the venerables. We have difficulty getting people to question. So we have a different problem. Oh. That's all. I saw two other posts here. Okay.